Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. If you run a small business or you're thinking about starting one, you'll want to hear this. The UK government just released their Backing Your Business plan, which is essentially a roadmap for how they intend to support small and medium-sized enterprises across the country. Now, I've gone through the entire document so you don't have to, and today I'm going to break down what this actually means for business owners like you and me. The plan is pretty comprehensive, covering everything from tackling late payments to making it easier to access finance. The government acknowledges that SMEs are the backbone of the UK economy, making up 99.8% of all businesses, providing 60% of private sector jobs and generating over 2.8 trillion in turnover. Now that's massive, but they also recognise that many businesses are facing significant challenges, from regulatory burdens to difficulties accessing finance. So this plan aims to address these barriers and help more small businesses not just survive, but actually grow. Now I'll walk you through the 5 main pillars of the plan and what concrete actions they're promising to take. First up, they promise to fix the fundamentals. Now the headline here is tackling late payments, which they say costs the UK economy about 11 billion per year and closes 38 businesses every day. Now that's pretty staggering. Now they're planning to introduce what they call the most significant legislation on late payments in over 20 years, including stricter maximum payment terms, mandatory interest on late invoices, and even fines for larger companies that persistently pay late. Now, as someone who's had to chase invoices myself, this could be a game changer. If they get it right, that is. They're also promising to reduce the admin costs of regulation for small businesses, and that could be up to 25%. Now, we've heard promises about cutting red tape before, so I'm cautiously optimistic, but they do mention specific examples like simplifying licensing regimes and modernising the tax system with AI tools to help small businesses avoid common tax mistakes. Now, that could save business owners a lot of headaches. The second pillar is about unlocking access to finance. The British Business Bank's total financial capacity will increase to 25.6 billion, and they're expanding the Startup Loans programme to offer 69,000 new loans with mentoring over the next few years. I think this is really important because access to capital is one of the biggest barriers for new businesses. They're also addressing the issue of personal guarantees in business lending. Now, many business owners are concerned about putting their personal assets on the line, and the government is promising to work with lenders on a mandatory code of conduct to ensure these guarantees are used fairly and transparently. This is a delicate balance. Personal guarantees do enable lending that might not otherwise happen, but they can also be a major deterrent for entrepreneurs. The third pillar focuses on backing everyday economy, so particularly high streets. This includes creating a new national licensing policy framework to modernise planning and licensing rules for hospitality venues. Now, if you've ever tried to open a cafe or bar, you know how frustrating this process can be, so streamlining it could be really helpful. They're also promising to transform business rates with permanently lower multipliers for high street retail, hospitality and leisure properties starting in 2026. And they're banning upward only rent review clauses in commercial leases, which have been a major problem for many small retailers. Now, these changes could make a real difference to businesses operating on the high street. Crime is also another focus area. They're promising 13,000 more police officers to crack down on shoplifting and tool theft, which have become serious problems for many small businesses. And they're making it a specific criminal offence to assault shop workers, which sadly has become increasingly common. The fourth pillar is about future-proofing business skills. There's a big emphasis on helping small businesses adopt digital and digital technologies, and specifically AI. The government is launching digital adoption pilots and expanding the Made Smarter adoption programme that provides funding and advice. Now, I think this is really important. Digital transformation can boost productivity significantly, but many small businesses struggle to know where to start. They're also continuing the Help to Grow management scheme and supporting an industry-led business mentoring council, that is. I was part of that, and my business is part of that mentoring council. And there's a focus on developing the next generation of entrepreneurs as well through enterprise education in schools and new youth entrepreneur category in the King's Awards for Enterprise. The fifth and final pillar is about opening up opportunities. Now the headline here is New Business Growth Service, which aims to make it easier to find access, advice and support. Now this includes a new digital service at business.gov.uk and integration with local growth hubs. Now I've heard from so many business owners who find the current landscape confusing, so a more streamlined approach could be really valuable. There's also a focus on helping small businesses win government contracts, with SMEs being made a national priority in the procurement system, which is good. And they're improving access to export finance, with UK export finance's capacity increasing by 20 billion to 80 billion. Now, if you've been thinking about selling overseas, this could create some interesting opportunities. So that's a quick overview of the government's plan for small and medium businesses. There are some promising initiatives here, though of course the devil will be in the implementation details. The government has promised to publish a progress update in 2027, so we'll be able to see how much of this actually translated to real change. Now, if you're running a business, I'd recommend keeping an eye out for those programs as they roll out. The Business Growth Service in particular could be worth exploring as it develops. And if you've had experiences with any issues mentioned, like late payments or access to finance, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Now, does this plan address the challenges you're facing? What else would you like to see? Now, if you found this breakdown helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe for more business content. And let me know what other policy topics you'd like me to break down in future videos. One of them will probably be the industrial strategy. Now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.